Pecha Kucha 231, Gundam, Gundamu, from the anime Gundam. It's kind of famous, especially in Japan. If you don't know, look it up. Okay, so while I was doing the Turtles stuff over the last couple of weeks, I was actually spending most of my time playing anime games. Not that that's anything new. Super Robot Wars is something I shouldn't have access to in the West because of the licensing situation. It's a load of robot anime from several decades in one game. Very interesting, but the take home is it's full of giant robots. I love science fiction. I love giant robot anime. Not that I watch any, but it made me think, well, now's a pretty good time for me to kind of tentatively explore illustrating giant robots. I've done it sparingly before, most notably with the Transformers. But Gundam come in many different shapes and flavors and sizes and complicated shapes, and I'm really just looking at how to figure out from the start how to build these shapes that end up looking like these things you've seen. And I was really spending this week just trying to feel my way through how to draw Gundam RX-78, the original 1970s giant robot of the Gundam franchise. I've been looking at Google images and trying to figure out, the shapes of the torso and the legs and all of this, and the proportions of the body relative to the head. But while I've been trying to figure this shit out, O2, my telephone provider, has lost my phone number, and this is making it very hard for me to draw giant robots while I'm disconnected from the world in the only fucking method that's not going to give me COVID. That saga continues, but yeah, like I said, Gundam, very popular in Japan. There is a real giant robot. There are at least two in Japan, and if you were interested in being a tourist, maybe not right now, you could go visit them. Yeah, but these are the kind of things I'm trying to do to figure out the shape of these robots. There's a lot going on. A lot of the stuff I'm looking at, there is actually inconsistencies in the way the same robot is drawn. So I ended up just looking at specific pictures and trying to copy them specifically with this idea of just draw what you can see. And then, because that was like some kind of bizarre glasses case. And then I thought, okay, so let's extrapolate what seems to be the most common consistent elements of Gundam RX-78's head. But even the way that the stuff sits under the eyes, between the under the chin, it's not consistent. But I did notice when I was looking at some bizarre cells, some bizarre frames from the original anime. Some of the original artists were struggling with proportions, much like it was Fist of the North Star. It makes me feel a lot better about me making bad quality art when it turns out I'm not the first, and I certainly won't be the last. I think I've found a comfortable place with this where I'm starting to figure out the broad shapes. Maybe the helmet isn't quite as large as it should be. Those little gun-mounted things he's got on the top of his head, that just confuses me. Just trying to draw the head from different angles. I'm figuring stuff out, but there's a whole lot that I'm very uncertain about. This is really the beauty of art. You find something you can't do, you keep doing it. Slowly you get better, you get more confidence. The best thing to do is just fucking keep doing it. So, that's what I'm doing with this. I'm looking at stuff, and then I'm trying to internalize it, and then I'm trying to kind of regurgitate it. Mechanical design is something I always struggle with because I'm not a fan of vector layers and rulers and stuff, because it always feels like graphic design being in Adobe Illustrator, which is counter to being an artist. It's a different thing. But moving away from Gundam, I'm like, let's just think about giant robots, because since I've just spent a bloody ton of time playing giant robot anime games, what have I kind of extrapolated? And I'm like, well, there's a shape to these bodies. They always have this kind of wide gait with really broad shoulders and a very large stance. The legs are always they don't go vertically down, they kind of off at 45-degree angles from the hip, because usually they have massive feet to support their massive weight. And you can see that the one in the center there is Optimus Prime, because I've kind of gone the long way around through Gundam back to where I've come from, Transformers. And I've had a lot of fun towards the end of this week, just kind of building the shapes, or using the shapes to kind of represent what would be giant robots in various forms. So this is kind of me doing gestures. They're not going to be as obvious to you as they are to me what I'm going for. But what I'm trying to do here, going back to what I was doing a few weeks ago, is create poses in which you can see where the weight is distributed. That these monstrously large robots can support their own weight on their monstrously large feet that are flat on some kind of surface. And just kind of working into them a bit. You can this is what I see is even when it's just like a black silhouette, because it's the broad shapes, it's the body language, because this is about poses, this is about a feeling. Details are not important. You put them on top, kind of like stickers or surface decals. As long as you have the strong foundation of the right mass shapes in the right place, you can do what you need to do. This is, I don't know if I'm breaking ground with this, but I definitely think I'm in a stronger place at the end of the week than I was at the start, and I certainly know a lot more about how to draw one particular type of Gundam. So in the end, it turned into some kind of Hulk Hogan joke with Optimus Prime here. What you gonna do, brother? I don't even like Hulk Hogan, but you can't deny that there was a couple of decades where he was kind of a big deal. And then everybody kind of realized what a scumbag he was. I don't know if I was ahead of the curve on that. I'm pretty sure I wasn't. I got told a long time ago what he was about. But that's where we are. End of Pecha Kucha 231, and I will see you next time.